It is time that we play a little game of Glitch in the System.
Is Vegas right?
I'm right.
Or did we find a glitch in the system?
Glitch in the system.
Now, on the Bettor Angle. Yeah, baby, it's on!
Believe it or not, I have a NBA bet, but we'll start with the NFL.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the association.
yeah, we're back. Almost.
I love it.
I know preseason ball is starting, but yeah, there's an NBA bet that caught my eye earlier this week. I've been thinking about it all week. I've talked to some people. Some people think it's a good bet. Some people think I'm crazy, but we'll get to that. Let's start with the NFL. I've already hinted at it with how much I like the Panthers tomorrow. Jake Hassan was on the show with us last week. We talked about passing yards, receiving yard leaders. Those did not get home, but we're going to try again. So we're going to start with passing yards leader, Bryce Young, 30-1. I talked about how bad Miami's secondary is. That's not a secret. You got Chuba Hubbard, the starting running back for the Panthers, out in this game. They're underdogs. So if you think Miami's going to, put up some points, Bryce is going to be asked to throw. Going back to week 2, he had 328 yards, so he's very capable of doing this, especially with the rapport that he's now found with Tet McMillan. I talked about that as well. So I think at 30-1, this is a crazy number for Bryce Young, and what could be is a disgusting game on surface, but could be a wild game tomorrow between two teams who just are desperate and airing it out at 1-3. What do you guys think?
It's disgusting. It's certainly
It's a fun bet.
disgusting.
I'm a big fan of Bryce Young. I have been since he was in college. I think he's very undersized and limited. I don't think he can be a star, but I root for him every time, and I think this is a great matchup for him to have a big game because everybody's been waiting for it.
We've been
because he
waiting
did
for
have
it
good
for a year and a half.
And yeah, I know he had a good end of the year last year too, though.
30-1 is an intriguing, enticing number for any bet. I can't get there with Bryce Young. I understand.
It also
the
sounds
matchup.
okay. It also sounds like it's a lot of heart in this bet.
Oh yeah.
I like Bryce Young. I've always rooted for Bryce Young. He's an undersized guy ever since he.
Kenny throws
sounds like
hard
you
into
like.
these sometimes.
Sounds like you like Bryce.
I do a lot, and I
you're looking
like
for a
his
reason to
comeback
bet
story.
Bryce.
I like his comeback story a lot, and I think this is an opportunity for him tomorrow, and I'm willing to bet on it. Maybe passing yards leader isn't the exact way to bet on it. I think Panthers money line is a good way. I think maybe just his regular props, but this is definitely a number that caught my eye if he has a big day tomorrow. I'm actually starting him on my fantasy team too, so because it's Jordan Love. Well, Joe Burrow was my quarterback. Then I had to get Jordan Love. He's on bye, starting Bryce Young. So I'm going all in on Bryce Young tomorrow.
I got you. The one thing I would look at for stuff like passing leader of the day and stuff like that is just the total.
Yeah.
Like, for me to back something like that, it'd have to be one of the highest totals on the board just so I know there's going to be points where potentially they're going to be in a shootout type of spot. But
You're looking at 44.5.
right, that's about middle of the road. I would say that's towards the bottom of the slate when it comes to totals. There's like a 49. I know the Cowboys is like 47.5. So those are the type of things I would look at when we're talking about passer leaders. But I get it. Miami, the vibe overall for them has to be down a little bit, and it's a short week.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not into it, Kenny. What's the next one? No glitch.
Garrett Wilson receiving yards leader, 25-1. So we know how bad Dallas's defense is, and you've got a little bit of a storyline here. You got Justin Fields going against an Eberflus defense that obviously has not performed well, and Justin Fields has practiced against a lot of those Eberflus defense. I don't know how much that's going to affect, but I know that Garrett Wilson has really been the only guy for the Jets so far this season, and he could definitely have a 100-plus yard day against the Cowboys. 25-1, really good number for him, receiving yards leader.
I think that's long, but to count on that combination of Jay Fields, he would just have to have a monster day, right? So I do think that's too big of a number. I wouldn't mind sprinkling on that. I'll say that's a good look against Dallas because Dallas can't stop anybody on that side of the rock. And as I mentioned, that total is towards the top end of the league, around 47.5. There was a 48 earlier in the week as well.
I like that one better than the Bryce Young. My concern is that Justin Fields uses his legs so much. Like, he's running a lot. He's scrambling a lot. But against the Cowboys defense, I think you would be it's not a bad bet to take anyone receiving yards leader for the week against that Cowboys defense. So I'll say glitch on that one.
You're trying to crack him today, huh?
Pretty quick on those ones. We'll get to the NBA one then, because I only had 3 for today. So the NBA bet that I have is Paolo Banchero, NBA MVP, 100-1. And my angle here is, and I know it's hard going against Jokic and SGA. Well, Jokic, I'll start with Jokic. I mean, he's getting older. He's been so durable, and I think that might continue. Obviously, it should, because like that's what the records have told us so far. But I think he could be due to maybe missed time, load management. I think this Nuggets team's going to be good anyway, and he not that he's going to be ineligible, just that could hurt his MVP case. Also, just the fact that he's getting older and he's won so many already, the voter fatigue, all that. And then obviously SGA, he's going to be hard to beat. The Thunder might just win 60, 70 games. It might just be him. But if I'm looking at somebody else, I think Anthony Edwards, Kay Cunningham are guys that are interesting. But I think this Magic team could actually be the 1 seed in what's a wide open Eastern Conference. And Paolo Banchero averaged 26 a game last year. If he just takes that leap to have 30 a game, Magic win 55, 60-plus games. They're the 1 or 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. At the very least, you're getting CLV on an NBA MVP bet at 100-1. That's why I like this. And like I said, I've been thinking about it. Some people think I'm crazy. What do you guys think?
I think it's tough because they add Desmond Bane, right? So that leap that you're talking about to go from 26 to 30, I think he's getting less shots than he did last year. That's the only thing that I would say on that. I love Orlando. I think Orlando has a ton of dogs. I think Orlando's going to be very good. I think Orlando's going to be probably top at worst, in my opinion, 4th in the East. Suggs is coming back healthy. They are going to be loaded. I really like their squad. I like what they got going on. The MVP is going to be a guy that's scoring 30, like you said, 30 a night, 29, 28 a night, and then pushing the best record in the league, top 2, top 3 record in the league. The number is extremely long, but I think it may be priced right when we're talking about, like, for example, you go down to Houston, Durant has an opportunity to be scoring 28, 30 on a top flight best record in the NBA squad with how good Houston's going to play defense. And naturally, the Thunder are going to take a step back because that's what every champ does. So, yeah, I would say the number is extremely long, but I think Paolo, they're going to be in more of a team system that is defense-focused, and they're going to have a top 6 or 7 overall record in the league instead of a top 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think Sean hit the nail on the head with just the record portion of that, and the scoring to be thrown around a little bit more than it just being Banchero. I like the idea, Kenny. I think he's going to be one of the best players in the league in the next 2, 3, 4 years. Maybe we're a year early on him.
I think it could be a spot where Desmond Bane scores 20 a night, Paolo scores 20 a night, and Franz scores 20 a night, and then they're just so balanced that it's tough to
give it to anyone. Like, you would have to have Paolo's assists and rebound stats also way up there.
Yeah, he would.
But how about this? What if they're actually like that good and like Thunder good, right? Like SGA is probably going to average more points than Paolo, but what if they're just like that good where, you know, Paolo is able to average 28 and the other guys are able to get theirs because their defense is so good too. And that's going to set up now for their offense now with adding Bane. And if Paolo's just only going to get better, that's the thing. And I was going to ask you guys before we wrap this up, like, when does that next step of like next stars come? Because that's what I'm also trying to bet on too. Like, if Paolo is going to be that next guy, why not NBA MVP at the longest price? We see it all the time. Like, we're kind of finally getting out of that LeBron Curry era. And obviously there's still Jokic, there's SGA who have won MVPs in the last few years. But like that next wave of guys, are we finally getting there? Is it this year, or am I just like maybe a few years ahead?
No, I mean, I think we're already there. I think the top guys in the NBA are all new generation guys. I think we're talking SGA. I don't know where you want to slot Jalen Brunson. Like, he could be a new age-ish guy, you know what I mean? How about this? You talk Paolo league MVP. Why not Paolo NBA Cup MVP? 22-1 at BetMGM. That would be a competition that you might get some of these bigger squads to take a little less seriously. Orlando sees it as some real hardware that they could pick up. They go on a little run in the NBA Cup. he's the guy, that's the MVP. That's 22-1. So that's a little bit of an angle on league MVP, but could also be really interesting because I think they'll be, depending on how the groups shake out, they should be in that elimination round of the NBA Cup, and there's enough variance in there where they can make it real. I wouldn't be shocked if they won the NBA Cup. So
I think they're going to win a ton of regular season games.
Yeah.
I think their defense is just going to carry over, and like you said, getting Suggs back is
getting
huge.
Suggs back is
Like
massive.
Yeah, so I think that they're just going to win a ton of regular season games. That might not get Paolo MVP home, but if that's the case, I think at the very least he's a finalist. I mean, it sucks getting CLV on MVP or on or just awards bets in general. It doesn't do anything, but hey, here's my cool 100-1 that turned 20-1 by the end of the season.
Yeah. So 22-1 for Paolo Banchero to win League Cup, NBA Cup MVP. Interesting.
I like that. Also, just looking at the awards markets for MVP or NBA right now, the Defensive Player of the Year is basically wrapped up by Wemby already.
Yeah, minus 175.
You just got to stay healthy. It was wrapped up last year.
Yeah. It was. You're right. As long as he stays healthy. Ugh. Chad at plus 650, that one's interesting. I'm not trying to bet on that, but that's interesting.